All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another HF Viking baseball broadcast. I'm Dylan Barnes. I'm going to be broadcasting this game and all other games throughout the season. Talk more about this after this 0-1 pitch from Vince Waterman. That one's lined down the third baseline foul, 0-2. Today, the Vikings of Homewood-Flossmoor are going to be playing the Lyons of Lyon Township. Vikings are coming off of two back-to-back walk-off wins, one against Thornwood, one against Bradley Bourbonnais. Here's the 0-2 from Waterman. It's a breaking ball in the dirt. Good take there. The Lions, on the other hand, are 19-3. They're on a 13-game win streak, and their last loss was way back on April 13th, 7-6 at Downers Grove North. Here's the 1-2 from Waterman. Breaking ball just barely off the plate. Evens a count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's a 2-2 pitch from Waterman. Above the zone, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Waterman was solid in his last outing against Lockport. He went 5 innings pitched, allowed 3 runs on 7 hits, walked 1 and struck out 4, and more importantly got the win. Here's a full count pitch. It's below the zone. It's a leadoff walk for Vince Waterman. Freddie Ragsdale drew that walk.
Oh, here we go. Thanks, bro. Get you your duties back. We don't have a Lyons Township lineup yet. That's great.
Troy Stukenberg takes ball 1 above the zone from Waterman. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Stukenberg. It's a pickoff attempt. Ragsdale in safe at first. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Hit in the air down the left field line. Foul. So the count is even. 1 ball and 1 strike to the 2-hole hitter Troy Stukenberg. A leadoff walk to Freddie Ragsdale started this ball game. One from Waterman is another pickoff attempt. Ragsdale in safe at first.
It's 2 disengagements.
What number of batters this is the game since their second batter?
35
No, I mean,
on
like
the
two.
two.
A ball and a strike
35
to Stukenberg. Fouls that one off. 1-2. There's that first use of the changeup from Waterman. We've seen that changeup progress as the years come on. He's using it more and more frequently and getting more and more swings and misses and weak contact, especially with righties. 1-2 is the count on Stukenberg. Ragsdale takes off. It's a ball inside. Lund will have no play. So Ragsdale swipes second base. And the count is now even. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's a 2-2 to Stukenberg. It's a breaking ball, just barely off the plate, 3-2.
Hold it while you speak. All right. It's 2-2. Happy to press the button before I look away.
Here's a 2-2 from Waterman. It's hit on the ground to Rob Tate at short. He's going to have to hurry his throw. Good play by Tate over there on short. Threw from the hole and cut down Stukenberg. Ragsdale advanced to third.
Jack falls. Thank God I took down the roster.
You gotta press it again to turn it off. Jack Falls will be the batter with a runner on third and 1 out. He takes a changeup in the dirt from Waterman. Good block there by catcher Preston Lund. Here's a 1-0. Swing and a miss at a fastball up around his neck, 1-1. A ball and strike is the count to Falls. Breaking ball in there for strike 2. Here's a 1-2 pitch from Waterman. Swing and a miss at a changeup. Jack Falls goes down on strikes for the second out of this top of the first inning. And after that leadoff walk to Ragsdale, Waterman has gotten 2 quick outs. Sam Vineyard, the cleanup hitter, will bat with a runner on third and 2 outs. Take a breaking ball just barely off the plate. Don't know where that missed. Here's a 1-0 pitch from Waterman. It's in the dirt. 2-0. Two-0 pitch to Vineyard. Swing and a miss. 2-1. Two-one pitch from Waterman is hit on the ground to Tate at short. He's up with it. He'll fire across his body to first base, and Vince Waterman strands that leadoff walk. So through a half inning, still scoreless, 0-0. On the mound for the Lions here in this bottom of the first inning is going to be the righty Tristan Clark. He'll face a very tough top of the order for the Vikings. Starting with the leadoff man, center fielder Dylan Head. Head went 1 for 4 with a double and a run scored yesterday against Thornwood. First pitch from Clark is off the plate for ball 1.
My bad, I'm settling in.
A ball and no strikes is the count ahead. Here's a pitch from Clark. Chopped on the ground to second. Head's going to use his wheels to make it closer than it has to be, but it's going to be a ground out to second base for Corey Mulling.
Corey Mulling.
Mulling was the player of the game yesterday. He went 3 for 4 with a home run, a double, 3 RBIs, and 2 runs scored. He kept the game alive in the bottom of the 7th with an RBI single back up the middle. We'll take ball 1 in the dirt. hit his 3rd home run yesterday. He can add his 4th today. Chopped foul. 1-1. One ball and a strike is a count to Mulling. He takes that fastball above the zone, 2-1. Clark is a low sidearmer, something the Vikings haven't seen much of this year. Head smacks that one on the ground to 3rd, and will be retired for the 2nd out of the 1st inning. 2 straight ground balls.
Jason Ballard.
Sends Jason Ballard to the dish with nobody on and 2 outs. The right fielder was 0 for 3 with a walk, a run scored, and a stolen base. In yesterday's contest against Thornwood, he'll try and get something going for the Vikings here in the 1st. He takes strike 1 at the knees from Clark. Here's a 0-1 pitch. It's a breaking ball, in on the hands, called for strike 2. Clark is working pretty quickly to start this ball game. 0-2 pitch. It's a breaking ball that Ballard sends one out into left field, and it's gone. Jason Ballard sends one off the scoreboard and gives the Vikings a 1-0 lead. He hammered a breaking ball that was left up in the zone, and it's his 6th home run of the year, regaining that home run lead. That ball got out in a hurry, and just like that, the Vikings have a lead. It was a line drive home run. Didn't know if it would clear that wall out there, but when it did, it gave the Vikings an early lead. Preston Lund will bat, trying to continue what Jason Ballard started. He takes strike 1 on the outside corner. Here's a 0-1 pitch to Lund. It's hit on the ground, back up the middle. And good play retires Lund to end this to end the bottom of the 1st inning, but not before Jason Ballard's solo shot gives the Vikings a 1-0 lead after 1. Vince Waterman back out on the mound to start this second inning. Didn't introduce the Vikings defense yet, so we will now. Preston Lund is Waterman's battery mate around the infield. You got Nico Bilgi at 3rd, Rob Tate at short, Corey Mulling at 2nd, and Elijah Rainey at 1st. Tell you the outfield after this first pitch to James Georgeless. It's a ball just barely above the zone. The outfield for the Vikings is Isaiah White, Dylan Head, and Jason Ballard left to right. Here's a 1-0 pitch from Waterman. It's a breaking ball, bottom of the zone for strike one. Fans here giving their approval of that one. That 1-1 is up and in, 2-1. Two balls, one strike. Here's a pitch from Vince. It's another breaking ball that Georgia's just tipped back, evening the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Waterman walked the leadoff batter in the first, trying to avoid a leadoff base runner here in the second. Here's a 2-2 to Georgeless. It's a fastball, jam shot. Bilgi had some weird spin that he had to deal with, but he'll make the play anyway. Good play over there by Nico Bilgi, who returns to the field after a brief absence to throw a no-hitter on Tuesday. But he's back at the hot corner. Bilgi is a great defender over there. So with 1 out in the second inning, Patrick Engels will be the batter. He'll take first pitch fastball at the top of the zone for a strike one. Engels is one of the few batters the Vikings have seen this year that elects to go no batting gloves. Taking it back to the 1930s. He swings and comes up empty at that breaking ball from Waterman. Very quickly 0-2. It was a big swing and even bigger miss. 0-2 pitch from Waterman. Breaking ball hit down the line, foul. Still 0-2. Count is still no balls, 2 strikes. 0-2. Tipped foul yet again. Waterman still way ahead. He's yet to throw a ball to Engels. 0-2 pitch one more time. It's a breaking ball that just barely was left up and out. 1-2. 1-2 pitch. Grounded foul. Still 1-2. After that leadoff walk to Ragsdale to start the first, Waterman has retired 4 straight. 1 pitch away from getting Engels. That one's hit right back up the middle. And there it is, the old announcer jinx. After 4 straight, 1 out single for Patrick Engels. As the Lions with a man on first and 1 out. Luke Nicholas will be the batter. Once again, no batting gloves. Lots of lefties in this Lyons Township lineup. Good thing for Waterman, as he is a very hard hitter to hit against left-handed, as there was a breaking ball in the dirt for ball 1 to Nicholas. 1-0. Hit on the ground to Bilgi at third. Backhand play, throw to Mulling at second. Good pick. He'll throw on to first, too high for Elijah Rainey. I think Nicholas was going to beat that out anyway, but it's going to be a fielder's choice, 5-4. That was a tough play for Bilgi to make anyway, as Mulling was shifted over to the right field portion of second base, as Nicholas was a left-handed hitter, so shading towards the pull side. So Engels is cut down at second. Nicholas takes his spot at first base for Ryan Jackson. He'll be the batter with a man on first and 2 outs. It's a fastball above the zone for ball 1. That 1-0 pitch is in there for a strike. evens the count at a ball and a strike. Here's a 1-1. It's a breaking ball hit on the ground to Tate at short. He'll flip to Mulling the short way, and that will end the top of the second inning. So one base runner in each of the first 2 innings for the Lions is stranded. So going into the bottom half of the second, the Vikings hold a 1-run lead. Leading off this bottom of the second inning is going to be the left fielder Isaiah White. White went 2 for 4 with 2 singles and a stolen base yesterday against Thornwood. He takes first pitch low from Tristan Clark. The righty back out on the mound here in the second. Another ball outside from Clark. 2-0. Outside corner for strike 1. Good pitch there from Clark. He is pretty much a right-handed Evan Nieder. Nieder, being a lefty, uses that sink to his advantage. Clark using it to his advantage as well. That one hit on the ground to Stukenberg at second. He'll make the play and retire White to start the second. So all 4 of the outs so far for the Vikings have been ground balls. 3 have been to Stukenberg at second, and 1 was to Jack Falls at third. Elijah Rainey, the hero in the last 2 games, he delivered both walk-off hits against Bradley Bourbonnais on Tuesday and Thornwood yesterday. He'll take strike 1 from Clark. A 1. Hit high into the air down the first base side. Vineyard will make the play in foul ground for the second out of the second inning. Demir Heidelberg will bat with 2 outs in the second inning. But with 2 outs in the first inning, Jason Ballard blasted a 1-out home run, a 1-run home run, a solo shot. Heidelberg takes strike 1 on the outside corner. That 0-1 is in the exact same spot as the first pitch for strike 2. So now 1 pitch away from a 1-2-3 inning. Tristan Clark is 0-2. That's off the plate, 1-2. Clark comes set. Here's a 1-2 to Heidelberg. It's a breaking ball that Heidelberg waves at. Comes up empty. It's a 1-2-3 bottom of the second inning. But it's still 1-0 Vikings after 2. Vince Waterman back out on the mound for the Vikings here in the top of the 3rd inning. He'll face the bottom of the Lions lineup, starting with Michael Mango. Mango is the shortstop for the Lions. A very creative team and mascot name, the Lyons Township Lions. Could have picked a better mascot, but Mango hits one to Corey Mulling in second. He's going to have to hurry. He'll make the play. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Waterman to start this top of the 3rd inning. Now the lineup turns over for Freddie Ragsdale. Ragsdale walked in the first base, stole second. Walked in the first inning and stole second base, excuse me. First pitch from Waterman is a breaking ball that buckled Ragsdale, got him to duck out of the way before it fell in there for strike 1. That 0-1 pitch is another breaking ball just below the zone. Evens the count at a ball and a strike. One pitch is lined into left field. Isaiah White's coming in on it. He'll make the play. So 4 pitches, 2 outs for Waterman. Pretty efficient inning so far. Troy Stukenberg grounded to shortstop in the first. Here's the first pitch you'll see from Waterman this at-bat. He fouls that one off right field. 0-1. The key for Waterman in this one is going to be limiting free base runners, and he's done a great job of it so far. Only 1 leadoff walk to Ragsdale in the first. Since then, he's been spotless. That one's below the zone, 1-1. Outside of Patrick Engel's single in the second, he's retired every batter he's seen since that Ragsdale walk. Swing and a miss. Stukenberg fell to a knee after he came up empty with that one. So now the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's a pitch from Waterman. Fastball hit on the ground to Mulling at second. He'll make the play, no problem. It's an 8-pitch top of the 3rd inning for Vince Waterman. Going into the bottom of the 3rd, Vikings still up 1-0. Leading things off here in the bottom of the third inning is going to be the third baseman, Nico
Now batting
Bilgi.
for the Vikings, Nico Bilgi.
Bilgi has not batted since the Vikings game at Lockport. He went 1 for 2 with a walk and a run scored in that game. So that was about a week and a half ago. But if anyone can... oh, great play by Tristan Clark. I was just about to say how if anybody can jump right back into hitting, it's Nico Bilgi. He did hit the first pitch he saw, but it was snagged by a falling Tristan Clark. So just like Vince Waterman, 1 pitch, 1 out in the bottom half of the third inning for Tristan Clark. Rob Tate is the batter. He'll take strike 1. Tate went 0 for 3 against Thornwood yesterday. Tate is the last batter in the Vikings lineup. He taps one towards Falls at third. Good pick over there by Falls, and he'll retire Tate. But it turns the lineup card over for the leadoff man, Dylan Head.
Now batting for the Vikings, Dylan Head.
Head grounded to second base his first time up on the very first pitch he saw. So I think he'll take a few more pitches. Get to see what Tristan Clark has to offer. He'll step off. And after Jason Ballard's solo shot in the first inning, Head is now in second place on the home run leaderboard for the Vikings. That's ball 1 outside. But as we've seen, Dylan Head can send one out of here in a hurry. He taps that one back to Clark, and he can't make the play. So Head will reach. I'm going to call that a single, as his speed was probably going to beat that out anyway. So I'm going to give him an infield single. We'll have to see what the official scoring is, but unfortunately we do not have an official score, so I am the all-knowing power here. We'll give that a single. Corey Mulling will be the batter. He'll take ball 1, and Dylan Head will take second base with no throw. That is his 22nd stolen base on the year. And he has not been thrown out once. 22 for 22. Pretty good. There's a 1-0 from Clark. Mulling takes that one off the plate, 2-0. Mulling hit a hard hit ground ball to Jack Falls at third that Falls made a good play on in the first inning. He takes that 2-0 pitch off the plate for ball 3. So 3 straight balls for Tristan Clark. The 3-0 pitch is a pickoff attempt that Clark didn't even.
Single, and then he stole second.
So now the count is still 3-0, but I think we're going to see the pitch this time. Long hold by Clark. Here's the pitch. He'll take strike 1. Mulling was taking all the way after 3 straight balls from Tristan Clark. He probably had the take sign on from Coach McCarthy. But he's still way ahead. 3 balls and a strike is still a count. Mulling sends that 3-1 pitch in the sky to center field. Ragsdale under it. He'll make the play to end the bottom of the third inning. So the Vikings can't do anything with a single with 2 outs in the bottom of the third. So through 3, Vikings still up 1-0.
Thank you.
Starting things off for the Lions in the top of the fourth inning, it's going to be Jack Falls, their third baseman. Vince Waterman, who is still on the mound, struck him out in the first inning, his only strikeout of the day. Falls sends one into right field. Jason Ballard will camp under it. Routine fly ball for Jason out there in right. So just like the third inning, Vince Waterman gets the first out on his first pitch.
Now batting for the Lions, Sam Vineyard.
Sam Vineyard grounded to short to end the first. He'll ground it to second base. Corey Mulling will slip and still make the play. Lost his footing there for a bit, but it's 2 pitches, 2 outs for Vince Waterman. So after an 8-pitch third, we might see an even faster fourth. James Georgeless grounded to third in the second. I think that Georgeless will have the take sign on. You never want to have a 3-pitch inning. But we'll see with this first pitch. Even if he had swung, I don't think he would have been able to hit that one too far. That was in the dirt for ball 1. Georgeless taps that 1-0 foul. 1-1. Really good crowd here tonight against a very good team in a Friday night game on the day before prom for most of these Viking students. Thought they'd come out and support their team on Cinco de Mayo too. 1-1 from Waterman is a breaking ball hit on the ground to Corey Mulling. He's up with it, and a wide throw keeps this fourth inning alive. Georgeless reaches on an error, and it extends the inning to Patrick Engels, who has the only Lions hit today. It was a single to center field. Mulling just got under it, and it flew over Elijah's head over there at first base. He was taking a bit too long, but then saw Georgeless hustling down the line, and I think that got in his head. Engels takes ball 1 upstairs. One 0 pitch is in there for strike 1. Good fastball at the top of the zone to Engels. Evens things at a ball and a strike. 1-1 pitch. In the dirt, good block by Preston behind the plate, keeping that one in front of him. Pickoff attempt. Pretty easy for Georgeless to fall back on the base right there. He didn't have the biggest lead. Here's a 2-1 pitch. It's a breaking ball. Falls in there for strike 2. Waterman has had good success with that backdoor breaking ball, as you just saw. Just like that, he's 1 pitch away from getting out of this fourth inning. That one's tapped foul. Georgeless was off with the pitch. So Engels will live to see another 2-2 pitch. It's a fastball that Engels got jammed on, hit out into right center field. Jason Ballard and Dylan Head talking, and Dylan Head will make the final out of the top of the fourth inning. So Waterman able to work around a 2-out error. Through 3.5, the Vikings hold a 1-0 lead. Starting things in this bottom half of the fourth inning, it's going to be the man responsible for that lone run up on the scoreboard, Jason Ballard. He homered to left field in the first.
Now batting for the Vikings, Jason Ballard.
Ballard moved into sole possession of first place on the Vikings home run leaderboard with 6. Dylan Head breathing down his neck with 5. Ballard takes ball 1 from Tristan Clark, back out on the mound. Here's a 1-0 to Ballard. Good pitch on the outside corner for strike 1. When Clark does get that fastball to work, it's usually on that outside third of the plate, keeping the ball away from righties. That one was too far outside, 2-1. And Clark has that sink two-seam action to it, so it's going to come back in on a righty. Ballard smacks that 2-1 pitch on the ground to Mango at short. He'll make the play. Another hard hit ball for Jason Ballard. Unfortunately, just right at the shortstop Mango.
Now batting for the Vikings, Preston Lund.
Preston Lund grounded to second base to end the first inning in his only at-bat so far today. Lots of ground ball outs for Tristan Clark. There's strike 1 on the outside corner. But with the way Vince Waterman is pitching, 1 run has been enough so far. But more runs are definitely necessary. I doubt that this ball game is going to end 1-0. That one's above the zone for ball 1. One ball, 1 strike. Here's a pitch to Lund. It's off the plate, 2-1. I believe the only Vikings game that has ended 1-0 is the game on Tuesday where Nico Bilgi threw a no-hitter and Elijah Rainey to walk-off double against a very good Bradley team. That one's still off the plate, 3-1. Here's a 3-1 pitch to Lund. It's chopped on the ground to Mango at short. He'll handle that hop and retire Lund for the second out of this fourth inning. He's made both outs. Isaiah White grounded to second to start the second. He'll bat here with 2 outs in the fourth. Vikings trying to avoid going 1-2-3 for the second inning today. They haven't sent more than 4 batters to the plate in any inning. They sent 4 in the first and then 4 in the third. White smacks that first pitch down the line, and it's going to be foul. Georges gave it chase, but it landed out of his reach and in foul territory for strike 1. Good swing there by White. He sat back on a Clark breaking ball and sent it the other way. There's the 0-1 pitch to Isaiah. It's a fastball in there for strike 2. So White trying to avoid being the third out of this fourth inning. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Little bloop into center field. Ragsdale giving a chase. He won't make the play. It's a 2-out signal for Isaiah White. A little bloop beyond the reach of Ragsdale in center field gives the Vikings their third hit of the day.
Batting for the Vikings, Elijah Rainey.
Elijah Rainey popped to first base his first time up. He'll bat with a man on first and 2 outs in the fourth. White was attempted to be picked off. Here's the first pitch to Rainey. Long hold by Clark. Here's the pitch. Smacked on the ground to Falls at third. And he'll throw across the diamond to end this bottom of the 4th inning. So through 4, we got a pitcher's duel on our hands. 1-0 Vikings. Vince Waterman back out on the mound for the Vikings after 4 shutout innings. He'll try and add his 5th right here. He'll face the bottom of the Lyons lineup, starting with Luke Nicholas, who he got to ground to third baseman Nico Bilgi in the 2nd. Bilgi made a nice backhand play. And then it was a fielder's choice at second base. Nicholas did reach, but since Patrick Engels was cut down at second, it was a fielder's choice. That one's just barely inside for ball 1. Outside of Freddie Ragsdale, who walked to start the 1st, Waterman has gotten the leadoff out in every inning. That one's below the zone for ball 2. That was actually the 1st inning since the 2nd that Waterman did not retire the first batter on the first pitch he threw. At 2-0's in the dirt for ball 3. So Waterman trying to avoid the dreaded leadoff walk. Here's a 3-0. It's at the knees for strike 1. Can't battle back from 3-0 without getting that first strike. Swing and a miss. Just like that, it's 3-2. From 3-0 to a full 3-2. Waterman will try and retire Nicholas to start the 5th. That one's tapped to Malling at second base. Soft grounder, and he'll make the play to start this 5th inning. Great job by Waterman right there, keeping his composure, not letting the situation get to him. Retires Nicholas. Ryan Jackson, the left fielder, grounded to short to end the 2nd. Here's the first pitch he sees from Waterman this at-bat. It's off Waterman's glove. Rob Tate's going to have to hurry. Strong throw, gets him. Gets away from Elijah Rainey. I think that's probably going to be a single. Michael Mango will be the batter. He grounded to second base. That's probably a single for Ryan Jackson, as a strong throw might not have gotten him, but either way, it's a one-out single, one-out base runner. Mango takes that one above the zone for ball 1. Mango takes that one in the dirt. Great block by Preston Lund. Lund has been working hard behind the dish today. Does not have a pass ball on the day. Here's a 2-0 to Mango. It's above the zone for ball 3. That one is just barely upstairs. But we've seen Waterman battle back from 3-0 2 batters ago. There's strike one. That's exactly how he got Luke Nicholas. A strike at the knees after starting 3-0. It's 3-1 now. Another pickoff attempt over there. Jackson able to scurry back to first. I say scurry because he didn't really slide, but he went down to his hands and knees. That 3-1's at the top of the zone for strike two. So for the second time this inning, Waterman works back from a 3-0 count to bring it full. Getting this out would be big as he would turn it over to the top of the order with 2 outs. That one's lined into center field. Dylan Head coming in on it. He'll dive, and he'll make the play. A great sliding catch by Dylan Head. Cuts down Michael Mango. Even if Head hadn't come up with that, Jackson was so far towards first base that Head would have been able to get up and then throw to Mulling or Tate, whichever was covering second right there. For a fielder's choice, the odd center field to second base fielder's choice, but first pitch to Freddie Ragsdale's a curveball that just barely was above the zone. Ball one. Ragsdale lined to left in his last at-bat in the 3rd inning. Pickoff attempt. Jackson able to get back in there safely. Going back to that line out by Mango, not many center fielders get to that. Dylan Head has elite speed, and that definitely came into play right there, as most times that ball falls for a single, but not with Dylan Head out there. That one's a great pitch on the outside corner for strike one. Evens things at a ball and a strike. That one's in there for strike two. Jackson takes second. There's a bit of communication mishap, but on who was taking the throw there. 2-1 is the count. That one was off the plate. I spoke too soon. It was a great pitch from Waterman. Now there's strike two. Ragsdale chased that one in the dirt. So now Waterman just 1 strike away from getting out of this 5th inning. Here's a 2-2. Fastball just up and out. For the 3rd time this inning, we'll go to a full 3-2. The good thing is that each of the first 2 times the batter has gotten out. Here's a full count pitch. Ragsdale flies one into left field. Isaiah White battling the wind. He'll settle under it, and he'll make the catch to end the 5th inning. And going into the bottom of the 5th, it's the same score as it was after 1-0 Vikings.
Let's see.
Demir Heidelberg will lead things off for the Vikes here in the bottom of the fifth. Heidelberg struck out in the second for his only at-bat so far today. Tristan Clark still out on the mound for the Lions. His only blemish of the day was a Jason Ballard solo shot in the first. Heidelberg was trying to add another solo shot with that swing. That one was up around his neck. He fouled it back for strike one, though. 0-1 is a count to Heidelberg. Takes strike two on the outside corner. The sophomore is serving as the DH today. He and Elijah Rainey have flip-flopped at first base. Swing and a miss. Heidelberg goes down on strikes for the second time today. It'll send Nico Bilgi, the third baseman, to the plate with nobody on and one out.
Nico Bilgi.
Bilgi grounded back to Tristan Clark in the third. It was a good play to stop a hard-hit ground ball back up the middle as Bilgi takes strike one right there. 0-1 pitch to Bilgi. Swing and a miss at a fastball, 0-2. Bilgi was a little late on that one. See if he goes back to the fastball right here. There's the 0-2 from Clark. It was a fastball. It was off the plate for ball one. 1-2 is the count now. 1-2. Bilgi, jam shot into left field. Jackson going over. He'll make the catch. In foul territory, Bilgi flies out for the second out of the fifth inning.
For the Vikings, Robert Tate.
The last hitter in the Vikings lineup, Robert Tate, will bat with 2 outs and nobody on in the fifth. Tate grounded to Jack Falls at third in his only at-bat so far today. He'll take a fastball on the outside corner from Clark for strike one. That fastball on the outside corner has been Clark's bread and butter today. That breaking ball's inside for ball one. Here's a 1-1 pitch to Tate. He grounds it towards his counterpart, Michael Mango, at short. And just like that, it's a 1-2-3 bottom of the fifth inning for the Vikings. But they still hold a 1-0 lead after 5. Starting things for the Lions in the top of the sixth inning is going to be their second baseman, Troy Stuckenberg. Stuckenberg has 2 ground balls to the 2 middle infielders today, 1 to short, 1 to second. He'll foul that first pitch from Vince Waterman back. Waterman out for his 6th inning of work. This is the deepest he's gone in any game so far this season. He's been stellar so far today. That one's lined right back up the middle. Waterman thankfully got out of the way of that one. That one was smoked. But it's a leadoff single for Stuckenberg. And it's the first time since the first inning that the leadoff hitter has gotten on for the Lions. Waterman just a little shaken up after that one. He was thankfully missed by that ball. Jack Falls is also 0 for 2 today with a strikeout and a fly out to right field. He takes that first pitch outside from Waterman. Pickoff attempt. Stukenberg getting safe at first. That 1-0's hit back up the middle. Mulling's going to take it himself. Steps on second and fires to first. It's an unassisted double play. And just like that, that leadoff single is erased. And there's 2 outs in the 6th. Great work there by Corey Mulling, knowing that he's close enough to the base that where he doesn't have to flip to Rob Tate. He can just step on second himself and then throw over to Elijah at first. And just like that, 2 outs for Sam Vineyard, who takes ball 1 below the zone. Vineyard is also 0 for 2 with 2 ground balls to short and second, just like Stukenberg. He takes a breaking ball on the outside corner for strike 1. That breaking ball to left-handed hitters has worked quite well for Vince Waterman today. He's located it perfectly. That 1-1's below the zone. Good take by Vineyard. Vineyard is a pretty big fella, so very important that you don't let him get a barrel on something. That one's below the zone, 3-1. But you also have to throw him a strike. You got to get him out somehow. Here's a 3-1 from Waterman. It's fouled back, 3-2. Vineyard probably chased ball 4 right there. That one was up around the letters. The count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Here's a pitch. It's tapped. Foul down the first base side. So we'll do the full count pitch one more time. Here it is. Lined into left field for a 2-out single. Sam Vineyard just goes with that breaking ball and sends it over the head of Rob Tate.
Now batting for the Lions, James Georgelis.
James Georgelis will be the batter with 2 outs and a man on first. Georgelis grounded to third and then reached on an error by the second baseman, Corey Mulling. So 2 ground balls have been the balls put in play for Georgelis. Here's the first pitch to Georgelis. It's a breaking ball that he fouls off down the left field line. Here's the 0-1 from Waterman. It's a fastball just outside for ball 1. Dan Pasco is the pinch runner replacing Sam Vineyard at first base. I think Vineyard is going to re-enter. At least that's what the umpire said. He said that he was going to re-enter to play defense and likely still bat, but Pasco is on first currently. There's a 1-1 to Georgeless. Fastball on the outside corner for strike 2. Lund probably stole a strike right there. That one was maybe a little bit off the plate, but a good frame by a good catcher will routinely get you strikes, and Preston Lund has done a good job of that today and all season. Here's a 1-2 pitch from Waterman. Pasco takes off. That one's fouled back, so he'll have to return to first. So the count is still a ball and 2 strikes to Georgeless. Waterman trying to get out of this 6th inning with just 4 batters faced. It's a breaking ball that he left up, 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the 6th. Here's a 2-2. It's a pickoff attempt. Pasco in there without even sliding. Just walked on over back to first. Going for a nice little stroll. 2-2. Tipped into the mitt of Lund. Vince Waterman gets out of a jam in the 6th inning, and he's through 6 shutout. Vikings lead it 1-0. Leading things off here for the Vikings in the bottom of the 6th inning is going to be their leadoff man, Dylan Head. Head is 1 for 2 today with an infield single and a ground ball to second base. Vikings would love an insurance run right here, as then Vince Waterman will have a bit more security. I assume that he's going back out on the mound to finish his gem of an outing that he's thrown so far. Here's a first pitch from Tristan Clark. Head takes it low and outside for ball 1. Clark back out on the mound for his 6th inning. Both starters have not been relieved yet, and nobody's up in the Lyons bullpen. That one's off the plate for ball 2. Looked to be a pretty good pitch, but apparently it was somewhere other than a strike, but we'll take it. Count is 2 balls and no strikes now. Here's a pitch to Head. He lines that one down the right field line, and it is gone. Dylan Head says, I'm not letting Vince throw the 7th with just a 1-run lead. The lead is now 2. He hits his 6th home run of the year, and just like that, he and Jason Ballard are once again tied atop the home run leaderboard. He knew it the second it left the bat. The only question was it going to stay fair?
Now batting for the Vikings, Corey Moley.
He bat flipped. And just like that, the Vikings have a little bit more life. can breathe a little bit deeper now. That one's inside for ball one. That one's in the same spot for ball two. Corey is 0 for 2 today with a ground ball to third and a fly out to center field. That breaking ball is above the zone for ball three. .30 pitch to Mulling is above the zone, and it's 4 straight. If you think that Dylan Head rattled Tristan Clark, there's your proof. A 4-pitch walk.
Now batting for the Vikings.
His first of the game.
Ballard.
So a late inning home run will do that to you. Jason Ballard, who also homered way back in the first inning to start the scoring for the Vikings. It stalled for 5 innings after that. He chops that first pitch foul, 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Ballard. It's a pickoff attempt so that Mulling is able to read pretty well. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Ballard lines one into center field. Ragsdale over. He'll make a jumping catch. He lost it on the transfer, as fans thought that he dropped it, but it's a hard hit out for Jason Ballard, his third hard hit ball today. One left the yard, one was to short, one was just lined into center field. So now Preston Lund will bat with a runner on first and 1 out. Lund's 0 for 2 today with 2 ground balls up the middle, 1 to short, 1 to second. Here's the first pitch from Clark. It's up and in for ball 1. Pickoff attempt, Mulling in safe at first. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Mulling takes off. Lund smacks one into left field. It's going to get through. It's going to get down, and it's going to roll to the wall. Mulling's going to be waved around. He'll score, no problem. Preston Lund extends the Vikings lead to 3 with a 1-out double. That's a big hit. And Preston Lund comes through clutch for the Vikings. It was a hit and run, and Preston did more than just hit it. He hit it to the wall. Jackson out there in left field did not take the best angle to it, as that one just snuck by him. I have no idea how. The ball was hit hard, but Jackson should have been able to stay in front of that one. Josh Moore replaces Lund on second base. Lund was the catcher, still is the catcher, so he can take a break. Isaiah White's 1 for 2 today with a single to center field, his last at-bat. I'll take ball 1 inside from Clark. Only 1 out here in the 6th. The Vikings threatening to score more. They've already scored 2 so far. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Here's a 1-1 pitch to White. Swing and a miss yet again, 1-2. Any base hit into the outfield is probably going to score Josh Moore from second. He has elite speed. Probably the second fastest on the team behind Head. Here's a 1-2 to White. It's a breaking ball off the plate. Great eye there from White. That Lyons pen had been getting hot. Here's a 2-2 from Clark. It's off the plate yet again. It's ball 3. Full count to Isaiah White. Elijah Rainey waits on deck. He's had some huge hits in recent games for the Vikings. He won't be able to walk it off today, at least this next at-bat. Here's a full count pitch to White. Strike 3 on the outside corner. A painted fastball sends Isaiah White back to the dugout. But that runner is still out on second base for Elijah Rainey. Rainey is 0 for 2 today, but has had some good swings on the ball. He grounded to third his last time up. But it was a one-hop rocket that Falls was able to snag. Rainey takes strike 1 on the outside corner. 3-0 is a better lead than what the inning started as, but Vikings would like to add some more insurance runs. Rainey chases a slider in the dirt for strike 2. Oh and 2 is the count now. Rainey calls time, steps out as Clark was taking a while. Count is still 0 and 2. Rainey trying to drive in more from second. He'll swing and miss at a slider to end the 6th inning. But going into the top of the 7th, Vikings need just 3 outs to end this one. Vince Waterman, 3 outs away from a shutout. It's the deepest he's gone into a game this year, and he has been almost perfect so far. Patrick Engels will bat. He has 1 of just 4 hits for the Lions today. Rob Tate lays out, gets up, strong throw. It's not going to get him. So now Engels has 2 of the 5 Lions hits today. Tate made a good effort on that ball, but it was just too far in the hole for Tate to come up with it. Here's a first pitch to Luke Nicholas. Fouled back for strike 1. Nicholas is 0 for 2 today with 2 ground balls. 1 to Nico Bilgi at third, 1 to Corey Mulling at second. That 0-1 pitch is in the dirt. Good block by Lund, keeping that one in front of him. Here's a 1-1 pitch from Waterman. It's inside, ball 2. If Waterman can get a ground ball right here, that would be massive. Getting 2 outs with just 1 pitch. It's hit on the ground to Rainey. He'll throw to Tate at second. Throw back to first is in time. There's the double play. 1 pitch later, Vince Waterman is 1 out away from a shutout.
Now batting for the Lions, Ryan Jackson.
The old 3-6-3 double play. Rainey scooped it up at first. He threw to Tate at short, and then he went back to cover first base. Just like that, 2 outs in the inning for Ryan Jackson. Jackson is singled and grounded out today. That one's tapped. Nico Bilgey's going to have some funky spin. Strong throw, not in time to get Jackson. That one had some weird spin. It bounced and then took a sharp turn, which on turf is not, bad bounces are not a factor on turf. It's an infield single. All 6 of the Lions hits today have been singles, and only a few were hit particularly hard. Michael Mangle will be the batter. He's 0 for 2 today with a ground ball to second, and then he had a single taken away from him by Dylan Head out in center field in the 5th. Pitching coach Vince Davis will come out to the mound, give Waterman a little pep talk. He's 1 out away from finishing his best start of the year so far. If there's anybody that wants it more than anybody else right here, it's Vince on the mound. He's been disappointed with his performance so far, but if he can bounce back against a very good Lions team, it'll be huge for him and the Vikings pitching staff. We saw Nico Bilgey throw a no-hitter on Tuesday. Just 3 days later, Vince Waterman is 1 out away from a shutout. That one's hit on the ground to Bilgey. He'll throw to Elijah Rainey at first base, and it is a shutout. Vince Waterman goes 7 innings pitched, no runs scored. Vikings win 3-0. They end the Lyons, Township Lions 13-game winning streak. They knock them down to 9-4. They hand them their first loss since April 13th. Vikings win 3-0 thanks to a Jason Ballard solo shot in the first inning, and the Vikings never trailed. Dylan Head homered in the 6th, and Preston Lund hit an RBI double later that same inning, and those were how the 3 runs were scored. Vikings moved to 14-11 on the year. They're on a 5-game win streak of their own. Their next game is tomorrow. It's 11 a.m. It's an 11 a.m. start at home against Kenwood. Kenwood has beat some pretty good teams this year. They knocked off the #1 team in the state, Nazareth Academy, earlier this week. So if you can't make it to the ball game here at HF High School, tune in right here. If you haven't already, subscribe, turn the post notifications on so you get notified whenever we go live, so you don't miss a game. Vince Waterman throws a gem of an outing, and the Vikings win 3-0. For everybody here at the HF Viking baseball program, I'm Dylan Barnes. Have a great night, everybody.